Okay, so today we're going to discuss the theory of sports training. Here's some examples of concepts being developed. So strength, 80 to 95%, bulk, 70 to 80%, power, 60 to 80%, endurance, light, 40 to 60%. So speed, rests, 3 to 5 minutes, 1 to 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, 1 to 3 minutes, and how many times each one is performed per week. Number of exercises, number of repetitions, speed of the exercise, number of sessions per week, rest between sessions, weight load or resistance, number of sets of each exercises, and rest between sets. So this is a nice table, but faded, which displays the types of training and the intensities used plus the rests. Much of the program design is what I'd call common sense when planning a program. Consider the following: number of exercises, number of sets for each exercise, excluding a warm-up, number of reps of each exercise, the weight load, percentage of 1 rep max when dealing with weights, the time per set, if it's slow and explosive, rest between workouts, exercises and sets. The order which the exercises is done in is quite important as well. Generally exercise your larger muscle groups first in a workout. These are things like squats, deadlifts, bench, the heavier stuff, leg press. Compound exercises require more energy and effort and return greater general training benefits, and so should be performed when the training is fresh. These variables also depend on the type of program goal, toning, stamina, speed, strength, size, etc. Trainer variables: when considering a person for whom weight training is to be prescribed, it is necessary to have a complete picture and possible of that person. Before working out a program, find out and consider the following: age, gender, body type, are they ecto, endo, or mesomorph? Health history, medical advice may be necessary, illnesses, injury, pregnancy, activity history, general weight training, what level to start at, occupation, sedentary, physical or work hours and gym hours. Now, I'll bring up occupation as I was having a discussion about this the other day. 1 a day and 2 a day training, okay, is possible if you get enough rest, if you're working part-time. But if you're a full-time student or you're working full-time, 2 a day trainings are pretty much impossible to fit in and will be draining after a while. So work hours and school hours are very important to consider when planning a training program, because 2 a day training is only really for full-time athletes or those who have enough time to rest between workouts. Objectives: what is the client really hoping to achieve? General lifestyle. Okay, some examples of weights: tricep cable pull downs, lying tricep extension, dumbbell kickbacks, one arm tricep, dips. These are arm exercises mainly. Barbell wrist curls, dumbbell one arm wrist curls, reverse wrist curls. Workout: general specific warm up, 2 sets of 3, 8 to 12 reps. Press behind neck, military press, standing lateral raise, front dumbbell raise, dumbbell shrugs, standing barbell curls, concentration curls, tricep cable press downs, dumbbell kickback, dumbbell one arm wrist curls, and dumbbell reverse wrist curls. So these are all arm and upper body exercises. Strength and resistance: when the muscle is stressed, it becomes bigger and stronger. The amount of resistance is the most effective aspect in increasing strength. Initially, after the start of training, the muscle fibers are injured but respond by becoming stronger in order to withstand the next bout. So weight training is all about breaking down and rebuilding muscle, which is why recovery is important. Terms: repetition, rep, 1 performance of the exercise, set, number of reps performed consecutively. So reps are smaller denominations, which make up sets. Rep max, the maximum weight that you can lift is a certain number of times. A 1 RM is a weight you can only lift once, and a 10 rep max is a weight you can lift up to 10 times. Types of contraction: isometric, static. Muscle contracts with no joint movement. This type of training is very specific in strength, will only increase in isometric movements. For that movement, wall sit, e.g. wall sit, will increase your strength in that position, but will not help in jumping, even though it is the same muscles. So isometric also includes squats with pauses at the bottom for exploding up. Concentric, muscle shortening. Eccentric is muscle lengthening. This type of contraction is mostly commonly used in weight training. Sample trainings of isometrics: quads, leg press, leg extension. No gym, squat with school bag, lunges with hand weights. So this is very handy examples for athletes who don't have gym equipment. Hamstring leg curl flexion, tie weight to ankles, deltoids, shoulder press, no gym. Press gradiented cans, pectorals, bench press, same with cans. Lats, lat pull down, no weights, sit in pike position, hands onto fixed bar above head. Alright, bicep curls, no weights with cans, calf raises for gastrocnemius, school bag or cans. Erector spinae, back extension, same. Abdominal crunches, the same. Session 3, legs and abdominals. Muscles of the thigh: rectus femoris, vastus intermedius, vastus medialis, vastus interilius. Extend and straighten the leg. Hamstrings: bicep femoris, long and short-haired, semitendinous, semimembranous. Function to curl the leg back, flexion, also adductors. When exercising, vary the tensor fasciae latae, foot position. For overall development, feet normal width apart and toes pointed slightly out. For outer thigh development, feet close together and toes straight ahead. For inner thigh development, feet relatively wide apart and toes pointed out at a wide angle. Squats. Squats build mass and strengthen legs, specifically for the foreheads of the quadriceps. Half squats develop extra mass and power in the thighs. Front squats work the legs with special emphasizing on the quads. Leg presses build mass of the thighs, allow you to work very heavy weights and reduce pressure on the lower back. Back squats develop the lower area of the thighs. Lunges develop the front of the thighs. Leg extensions define and shape the front of thigh, especially develop area around the knees. Leg curl flexion develop hamstrings, can be done standing as well. Straight leg deadlifts work the hamstrings. To get the most out of the squat, the bar should remain directly over your feet. As you bend your knees coming down, make sure you put up and your back straight. This takes the lower back of the movement and puts stress on the leg muscles where it belongs, allowing your head to lean forward as shown here. Additional stress on the lower back and less on the thigh where you really want it. Bodybuilders with longer legs tend to have this problem more than those with shorter legs. Muscles of the calves: soleus, plantar flexion of the foot, gastrocnemius, tibialis anterior. The soleus, plantar flexion of the foot. Exercises toe out position helps to develop the inside of the calf muscles. Toe in the position helps hit the outside of the calf muscles. Standing calf raises develop the overall mass of the calves, especially the gastrocnemius. Leg press, machine calf raises develop lower calf, soleus, and other areas of the gastrocnemius. Variation by working one leg at a time as to isolate each set of calf muscles. Reverse calf Raisers develop tibialis anterior, mainly work with own body weight. Muscles of the abdomen, rectus abdominis, external obliques, and intercostals, the lift ribs. Many exercises now considered contradicted as putting strain on lower back or work hip flexors rather than abdominals. Mostly separate exercises for rectus abdominis into upper and lower abs. Anything past 30 degrees is working your hip flexors. Care should be taken not to jerk the neck. Examples of ab exercises: incline sit-ups for your upper abs, twisting sit-ups for your upper abs, intercostals and obliques, sit-ups on the floor for your upper abs, crunches for your upper abs, bent knee hanging leg raises for your lower abs, bent knee leg raises for your lower abs, seated obliques, and side bends. Workout legs and abdominals, general and specific, 2 sets of 3, 8 to 12 reps, back and front squat, leg press, straight leg deadlifts, lunges, leg extensions, leg curls, standing calf raises, seated calf raises, reverse calf raises, ab circuit, hanging back knee raises, crunches, incline sit-ups, pelvic tilt, and side bends. Session 4, chest and back, pectoralis major, serratus anterior. 2 basic chest exercises: flies and presses. Exercises for the chest: barbell bench press flat, build mass and strengthen pectorals, fronts, delts, and triceps. Fundamental compound exercise for the upper body: barbell incline bench press, develop mass and strengthen the upper pectoral muscles and front deltoids. The classic bench press: your starting position, the hands are positioned on the bar, slightly wider than the shoulders width. This distributes the stress so the pectorals do a major part of the work with minimal front deltoid and tricep involvement. Notice that as the weight is lowered to the chest, the hand position is such that the forearms end perpendicular to the floor. The hand position gives the best overall results, developing a complete pectoral muscle, inner, outer, and the middle. Dumbbell flat bench presses develop mass and strength of outer pecs. Incline dumbbell presses develop upper pecs. Decline dumbbell presses develop lower pecs. Parallel dips develop pecs. Dumbbell flies develop mass of the pecs. Incline dumbbell flies build mass of upper pectorals. Standing cable flies, crossovers develop inside of pec muscles. Machine flies build definition of pec muscles. Rope pulls develop serratus muscles. One-arm cable pulls develop serratus muscles. Muscles of the back: trapezius, raise the entire shoulder girdle, latissimus dorsi, erector spinae. Spinal orators in the picture, actually the femora columbar fascia. Close grip shins, lateral machine pull downs, close medium grip pull downs, bent over barbell rows, bent over dumbbell rows, T-bar rows, seated cable rows, deadlifts, good mornings, and back extensions to work with the spine. Workout chest and back. Warm up, general and specific, 2 to 3 sets of 8, 12 to 12 reps of bench press, incline bench press, decline bench press, either dumbbell or barbell, cable crossovers, wide grip chins, lat machine pull downs, bent over barbell rows, seated cable rows, back extensions, warm up stretches, lats, lower back, pectorals. Spotting a partner can be very helpful for these exercises, such as dips, chins, pull ups, bench press, as to prevent injury. Shoulder muscles, deltoids, 3 heads rotate, which rotate the left arm, anterior, medial, and posterior. Trapezius lifts the entire shoulder girdle. 2 types of exercises: laterals and presses. Exercises: press behind the neck, dumbbell press, military press, push press, standing lateral raise, one arm cross cable laterals, front dumbbell raise, bent over dumbbell laterals, upright row, dumbbell shrugs, barbell shrugs. Muscles of the arm: bicep brachii, tricep brachii, forearm flexors and extensors. Here's some examples. Arm exercises: standing barbell curl, preacher curls, incline dumbbell curls, seated dumbbell curls, alternate dumbbell curls, concentration curls. Anaerobic fitness. This is the ability a person has to move the body quickly at a high workout rate for a short time, such as sprinting. To develop anaerobic fitness, athletes use interval training. During interval training, the athlete alternates work periods with rest periods. The work is more intense than in continuous training, and the work period is much shorter. So this is to develop short bursts of speed. Interval training is used to develop anaerobic fitness, but can also help develop aerobic fitness. There are three main variables in interval training: duration of work and rest, intensity of work, number of repetitions. So, for example, in a sprint session, um, the athlete might be doing 30 meters times 6. So duration of 30 meters is 4 to 5 seconds. Rest for 30 meters, maybe 3 to 4 minutes rest. 3 to 5 minutes rest, rather. Intensity of work, 95 to 100%. Number of repetitions, 6 times. These variables change so that the type of interval training is appropriate to the particular activity which the athlete is training. The anaerobic requirements of a hockey player and a 10,000 meter run are different, although both athletes use the anaerobic system. Long and short intervals. The workout periods used in interval training must be appropriate to the activity. Long intervals have work periods that last up to 3 minutes and can have some aerobic benefit as well as anaerobic. They are likely to be used for sports where the activity burst is sustained for up to 5 minutes, e.g. team sports. Because the work period is longer, the intensity of which the athlete must perform this work is around 75 to 85% effort. Again, because the effort is not at the maximum, the number of reps can be as many as 20. Short intervals are fully anaerobic. Consequently, the work period lasts only as long as 15 seconds or less. For short intervals to be effective, they must be done at maximum full effort and the number of repetitions cut down to a maximum of between 12 and 15. Principles of training. A lot more detail on this in a brilliant article by Ernal Ibarra on the Athletics website, athletics.info. Principles of training: specificity, progression, overload, frequency, intensity, duration, regularity, and reversibility. When you design a training session, think of these things. Progression. A program needs to be progressive. Simply means that as the level of fitness of the athlete improves, the demands put on that person in training are increased to keep challenging them physically and to keep improving the level of fitness. Progression is achieved by increasing the intensity, e.g. week 1, 3 times 20 meters, 3 times 30 minute runs, 3 times 20 minutes the first week, and then increase to 3 30-minute runs the following week. Overload occurs when an athlete exercises at a level above which he or he can normally work it comfortably. By training an overload, an athlete allows the body to get used to the effort required. Some cricketers practice with heavier balls. Specificity: any programs of exercise must be specific to the activity in which the athlete is involved. E.g., it would be pointless for a cross-country runner to train in the same way as a boxer because the requirements of each sport are different. Frequency. Frequency refers to how often an athlete should exercise to get some benefit from training and to maintain or improve fitness. An average level of fitness can be maintained on 3 to 4 training sessions per week. The Heart Foundation suggests 3 times per week for at least 20 minutes as an acceptable minimum for fitness. Intensity. As we have seen earlier in this chapter, some types of training require the athlete to work more intensely than others. Intensity refers to how hard a person works during exercise and is calculated as a percentage of their maximum effort. Duration. Length of one training session or an entire training program is important. If a training session is too short or too long, the athlete will not benefit. A training session that is too short or too long may see the athlete stale in their performance because become disinterested or never reach a peak of training. For an aerobic session to be of benefit, it must contain continuous activity for at least 15 to 20 minutes. A beginning athlete may find that after an hour of continuous exercise, the return of effort may diminish rapidly. The length of a program depends on the stage of the season the athlete has reached. The length of each period changes according to the sport played, but on average, off-season or general phase lasts 3 months, pre-season 3 months, and in season 5 to 6 months. Regularity. Regularity of training involves the athlete meeting the frequency of training for the duration of the training program. Without regular exercise, the desired program will not be made and training effect will not be gained. So that basically means if your coach is giving you a training program and you show up to less than 50% of the sessions, like 30 or 40%, you're not going to benefit as much because you're not going to be having as much regularity in your training. Reversibility, the principle suggests that the training effect can be lost. If an athlete stops training, the benefit gained from previous work will be lost. So, for example, a female sprinter runs 12 seconds, doesn't train for 18 months, come back, start running 14 seconds. Fitness components, strength, power, local endurance, aerobic capacity, anaerobic capacity, agility, speed, flexibility, skill, and how they're linked to resistance training, flexibility training, interval training for sprint, circuit training, continuous training. Aerobic training, examples, power walking, swimming, running, cycling, aerobics. Training in this way makes the body more efficient, heart beat stronger, process O2 quicker, enzymes extract VO2 better from blood, more mitochondria, can last longer in aerobic system before needing the anaerobic system, can recover quicker, should be done 3 to 4 times a week, 60 to 80% intensity of target heart zone. So that's why heart rate, monitoring is very important, not done nearly enough in sports, but is another very useful indicator, in addition to the amount of rest an athlete should be having between their intervals. Duration, approximately 2 minutes for aerobic training. Work rest ratio, the work rest ratio is the key to beneficial interval training. This ratio represents the length of rest time compared to the length of work time. There are many thoughts on what is the appropriate work to rest ratio, but in general, long interval training, the rest time is the same as or twice the length of the work time, 1 to 1 or 1 to 2. The rest time is accordingly longer, which means the work rest ratio for short intervals, the athlete is working at a higher intensity for a shorter period of time. The rest time is accordingly longer, which means the work rest ratio increases 1 to 3 or 1 to 5, and in some instances 1 to 10. Here are some examples. 80 seconds work, 160 rest. So that's 1 to 2. 240 to 520 for 4 800s, that's 1 to 2. 8 100s, 15 seconds to 1 minute, that's 1 to 4. And 12 50s, I believe that's 1 to 8. Example training sessions. New Zealand under-21 build-up to the Australian Series of Hockey. The session was performed 3 weeks before the series. Here are some examples of training. 6 times 20 to 40 meters. It seems 6 times 40 meters with a 20-meter fly-in. So walk back, 1 to 1. Rest before agility shuttles, 10 minutes. 2 sets of 640s. Walk back recovery. Rest between sets, 5 minutes. And then a long continuous run thing, which is 5 to 8 minutes between sets. Long and short intervals. The work periods used in interval training must be for the activity. Long intervals have periods that last up to 3 minutes. Okay, and now an example of some drills with basketball. 180 degree turns, lateral cone hops, depth jumps, low post drills, and rim jumps, and that is all. Okay, and that concludes 40 pages in 25 minutes. Well, that was pretty quick. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in, and stay tuned for more broadcasts.